What's going on, boys and girls? It's Friday night here in Australia. The Premier League season kicks off tomorrow with Liverpool hosting Bournemouth in what I expect to be a pretty impressive and emphatic win by Liverpool. But this isn't really to focus on the other teams. This is purely me wanting to look straight at what is a really big Premier League opener for Arsenal away at Old Trafford to Manchester United. I thought I'd look at who I think we should pick in terms of our starting 11, have a little bit of a conversation around how I think the game will play out, and then just see where we go from there. In terms of who I would be picking for our starting 11, I put Raya in goal. I would keep White at right back. I think he's been one of the more impressive players in pre-season. I would have the ever-present Saliba and Gabriel as our centre backs, and then I'm going to go with a bit of a, I wouldn't say left field because he's definitely played this role many a time before, but just on the premise that he hasn't had a lot of preseason minutes, and he's probably a little bit further behind in terms of match fitness to the rest of the squad. But I'm going to go with Timber at left back. I think for a game like this, where Manchester are going to be really revved up and high energy and looking to come out on the front foot, I just want that assuredness and that defensive, um, just that defensive nous that Timber brings to the squad. And I think he's performed excellently at left back when he's done it. So I just think from a point of view of this game in particular, I'm putting Timber in at left back if he's ready to go. I think Lewis Skelly has not had the most impressive of preseason. That doesn't mean to say that I don't think he will end up being our first choice left back for the course of the season. But I just think for this match, I'm going with Timber. I think Calafiori has a chance of being selected, but yeah, in my opinion, it's White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Timber. Zubimendi, hopefully in that position in front of the back four, although I have been hearing a few comments online that he hasn't been seen in training for the last couple of days, which is a bit of a worry. But I'm going to go with Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard, Saka on the right. The left wing position, I mean, by the sounds of it, it looks like we've got a choice between Madueke and Martinelli. Trossard seems to still be on the sidelines, and there's the talk of him potentially moving is starting to hot up. So I think for this game in particular, I'm half tempted to throw Madueke in there and see what he can do, because Martinelli has definitely not done anything, in my opinion, to kind of warrant being selected over Madueke in preseason. But I think, again, for this game in particular, where I think Manchester are going to come out with a lot of energy, are going to want to be on the front foot, and are probably going to put us under quite a lot of pressure, particularly in that first 25, 30 minutes, the defensive work rate of Martinelli and his willingness to track back and help, I think is really important for the first stage of this game. So I'm going to go with Martinelli, and then up front it has to be Gyökeres for me. We can't be crying out for a deadly number 9 for 3 seasons and then not play him on the opening game of the season, particularly when he scored a goal last week. So I think he needs to kind of maintain that momentum. He needs to build on that confidence that would have come from that first goal, and he has to start, in my opinion. If Arteta picks Havertz in the 9 role over Gyökeres, yeah, I'd be a bit mind blown by that. But you never know with Arteta. He loves to find a way to squeeze Havertz into this team whenever he can. So it wouldn't surprise me, but I'm going to go with Gyökeres up front because I think that is the only choice in my mind. In terms of where my confidence lies on this one, I'm not going to lie. I'm not in a good place with Arsenal. Do I think we're going to fall off completely in terms of, outside of a top 4 race? No, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced by what I've seen so far in preseason. I'm not convinced that we've brought in what we need to bring in to genuinely put us in a place of really going for that title. And as I see it right now, as the squad lies right now, I'm putting us in a more of a top 4 battle than I am for even a top 2 battle, which is really disappointing to say. So in terms of this game with Manchester United, I think Manchester United have made some really great signings. I think they obviously still have a lot of areas of weakness, which we can obviously exploit. I think the goalkeeper situation, it does sound like Onana might be back for this game, but again, he's had no preseason, I don't think, so we should definitely be looking to kind of put him under some pressure. But it's that front line, that you can't say that they haven't improved that front line with Mbeumo, Cunha, and it'll be interesting to see if Sesko starts. I don't think he will, but I definitely think Manchester hold much more of a threat going forward. And then you've got the likes of Fernandez, who kind of likes to orchestrate everything for them. So, like I said, I think it's going to be a really tough game. I think Manchester will be really up for this. The fans will be up for it. I think both managers are under pressure for various different reasons, and yeah, I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's like any big away game against a kind of top six rival team. The most important thing for an away team is to just quieten down that stadium as quickly as you can. So I think it's really important that Arsenal try and start the game well. I know Manchester are going to come out with a lot of energy, and a lot of intensity, but I think Arsenal need to find a way to just dampen that and kind of quieten the crowd as quickly as they can and try and take control of the game. And then I think we might, be able to position ourselves in a good place. Um, my the realistic part of me is probably leaning more towards like a 1-1 or a 2-2 draw. But I'm gonna start the season with a bit of confidence, and I'm gonna go with a 2-1 win. I think we might get ourselves to a position of being 2-0 up, and I think we might concede a second half goal, and I think it might finish 2-1. Um, but yeah, I'm going to go with the boys to get the job done. I think it's really important. I think when you look at the first six fixtures that we've got, I think despite the fact this is a very different Manchester team to last season, I just think we need to find a way to get a win on this one, because I think if we were to start negatively and potentially lose this first game, the pressure that comes onto that Leeds game, and then moving into the Liverpool game in week 3, like I just think it's really important we try and find a way to win on Sunday. I don't really care about the performance, if I'm being brutally honest, for this game. I just want to get the W and get out of there. So yeah, let's see what happens in terms of players that I'm really keen to keep an eye on. I want to see Raya look a lot more comfortable on the corners. I feel like on set pieces he's looked really shaky in preseason, which has not been encouraging. So I want to see him kind of be a little bit more commanding and kind of take control of that situation. I think Saliba and Gabriel just need to keep doing what they're doing. Gabriel, like Timber, is probably a game or two behind the rest of the squad. I want to see Ben White overlap Saka. I really hope Zubamendi's fit, because although I think Norgard can do a job in this sort of game, like I just think the control that Zubamendi will bring to this will be vital. Rice needs to kind of offer up that dynamism and that back and forward energy that he does. And, again, like I said, I think Martinelli will play a key role, particularly supporting on a defensive side, but it would be nice for him to show something offensively. And then Gyökeres, this is what we bought him for. We bought him for these types of matches where we need someone to create that winning moment and score that winning goal. So I really would love to see a Gyökeres goal or two at Old Trafford and see him pull off the celebration properly. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. I'm going to get up for it. It's 1:30 here in Australia, which is a bit brutal on a Monday morning, but I'm going to get up and watch the boys, and hopefully we can pull off a good win and start the season on a positive note. So let me know what you guys think. Who's your 1 to 11? What do you think the score's going to be? Do you think we're going to get a win? Drop it in the comments. Follow, like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.